Hello, everybody. Today is payday, and payday means that you finally have some power and autonomy over your life. You have power and autonomy over your resources, and you ultimately get to decide what you want your future to look like. You can only want so much in this life, people. Really, you can only want so much. If you want a big house, then you're going to have to sacrifice the big fancy car. If you want 3 kids, then you're going to have to sacrifice the big fancy car and the big house. If you want to be a career magnate, then you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of family time and the kids and the family and the friends. You know, you can only have so much in this life, but what I see time and time again is people putting so much on their plate to the point where they burn out, to the point where they have to make unethical decisions within their workplace in order to meet productivity, because they've constructed a life in which they have to work so hard in order to produce a profit to meet this whole catastrophe that they have kind of created for themselves of overpayment, of overconsumption, of over materialism. And if it's not over materialism, it's wanting too many kids, it's wanting too many pets, it's wanting too much of something. At some point, you have to let go. You have to find a way to find peace in not having everything that you want. You have to let go of certain things, and this is for the sake of your own mental health. And I understand some people come from backgrounds of poverty, and they want things. They want sometimes excessive amounts of things because they came from lack. But ultimately, what it does to you, what living above your means does to you, is it rips you of your connection with those around you, your family and friends. And that is a tragedy. That's a tragedy. And the tragic thing is that we have control over what we want. And we can learn to emotionally regulate ourselves so that we don't depend on material items to bring us happiness. We can learn how to humble ourselves so that we don't need to buy the big old fancy place in the big old fancy town or city, so that we don't have to brush up our ego and destroy our finances. We have the capacity to work on ourselves. We have the capacity to be happy and content with less. How do I know this? Because I've done it. So today is payday, and that means that you get to decide the rest of your life with the resources that are coming in. You get to decide whether in the next 10 years you'll be one step closer to financial peace, or in 10 years you'll be burnt out. You have poor relationships with the people around you. Whether you'd have to work into retirement because you want too much. But you can make the decision today to want less. You can make the decision when you get that paycheck to form a life that is worth living, a stress-free life, a life where you can breathe, a life where you are healthy, a life where you are not mentally concerned and stressed about everything that happens at work. A life not where you have fuck you money, but where you have money where you can get up and leave, where you don't have to stay stuck to a position that abuses you. But it all starts with what you want, and it all starts with where you put your resources. And it all starts when you get out of high school, when you get that first job. It all starts with that impulse control, that emotional regulation. It starts with containing your ego, putting your ego on a leash, not letting it run the game. not needing to show off, being authentic, being genuine, being yourself, and that being enough. I know everyone has their journeys, but ultimately the consequences are the same if you choose to live above your means. And that is, you're forcing yourself to do more work. You're forcing yourself to work longer. And ultimately, what's at the end of it, especially if your obsession is materialistic consumption, well, just more emptiness and more tiredness, because we never get the time back. We never get our youth back. We never get life back. So the more that we put our resources into senseless materialism, the more that we actually strip away life from ourselves into something that does not give us anything in return. So with that, guys, it's payday. It's a beautiful day. It's a day where we can decide our fate. In this life of systemic oppression, we already are so limited in our power. And you are given a little bit of power on payday. And that is to decide your future, to decide how stressed you want to be when you get older, to decide how healthy you want to be when you get older, to decide how you want others to perceive you when you get older. With payday, you get to decide everything about your life and how you want it to look like today, tomorrow, and for the rest of your life. And that's a beautiful thing. So take control. Take advantage of your situation. Take advantage of your youth. Put your money into some assets so that you don't have to remain a slave, another piece of the cog in this system. And if we all do this, perhaps the system will no longer have anything else to rely on. Maybe you'd have to submit at some point. Well, guys, I hope that we all reach that eternal tranquility we're looking for in that peace. And I hope you're making some steps on payday to ensure that you have a healthy, peaceful future, a safe future. So be wary, guys. Be wary of your wants versus your needs, and find peace in simple activities. Find peace in a walk outside. Find peace in a bike ride. Find peace in learning how to play an instrument. Find peace in learning how to write a story. Find peace in human connection that doesn't cost more than a couple dollars, maybe a coffee at a coffee shop. But don't find peace in expensive cars. Don't find peace in expensive apartments or luxury trips or needing every brand new Nike shoe that comes out. Don't find peace in style. Find peace in style, but not overly priced style. Find peace in peace. And that is less. So with that, guys, hopefully you got something from this message. Remember, want less and de-stress. Guys, have a wonderful weekend. Peace and love. Want less and de-stress.